Welcome once again to Dual Diagnosis Anonymous. My name is Donnie and I am dual diagnosed. Can we please take a moment of silence followed by the serenity prayer? God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Hello DDA, how you guys doing? We're back again live for another DDA meeting, and today I want to talk about the definition of insanity. This is something that we say in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous and Cocaine Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous and a lot of other support groups. People talk about the patients that come to the hospital and how they're crazy. Well, I really want to correct that, because a lot of them aren't. A lot of them have just been off their medications. A lot of them have just been sleep deprived because of their restless sleep like I have, and they just let it get out of control. Some of them self-medicate instead of taking the medications that is prescribed, and it causes them to be out of balance. So they're not crazy. They're doing what we're talking about today. They're doing the same thing, expecting different results. That's what the definition of insanity is. And a lot of people quote that, but a lot of people don't realize that they're still doing the same thing that they've always done, expecting different results. They wonder, I hear people all the time talk about, their man ticker is off, because they picked the wrong guys, or they picking the same guys. It's not the guys that's got the problem. It's just the person that's picking them is doing the same thing that they've always done. So they always getting what they've always got. So I'm going to shed a little light on that today by helping you to understand what is insanity. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Many people attribute this quote to Anthony Robbins, and before him, Albert Einstein, Henry Ford, and even Mark Twain. Regardless of the origin, what matters is the point it makes. If you want to change the end result, you need to change the way you do things. We're all guilty of getting stuck into a routine on a daily basis. Routines that are not so healthy for us, but we keep doing them because they're comfortable for us. Then we sit and wonder why we can't get into shape. We keep attracting the same morons, are experiencing the same life lessons over and over again. Well, it's because you keep doing the same thing, therefore getting the same results. Here are some tips on how you can break the routine and start seeing the results you want to see in your life. Number one, step outside your comfort zone. And I truly believe that this epidemic that's going on is going to cause people to step outside their comfort zone, because if you're going to change, you're going to have to step outside your comfort zone, whether you like it or not. That's one thing that I loved about what Paul said. He said that the things that he will to do, he do not do. But the things that he will not to do is that, what he does. In recovery, we've learned to put it this way. Everything that we don't want to do is what we're going to have to do in order to change. So step outside your comfort zone. Do something that makes you uncomfortable and conquer it. And let me throw this in there. This is free. If God called you to do something, believe you me, it's not going to be comfortable. He's going to make you work for it, because he looks for people that's loyal. He looks for people that's going to step out on faith and believe in him. Because other than that, he don't make it easy for us, because if he did, everybody would be doing it. But see, that's what Satan's job is. Satan's job is to make it easy. Because if he make it easy for you, you'll keep doing it over and over and over again. And that's how you stay in the trap. And that's what the definition of insanity is. Once again, throughout this video, you're going to hear me say that quite a bit. Because a lot of people continue to do the same thing that they did since childhood. They still do it. And they're not changing it. Don't want to change it because they're afraid of stepping outside their comfort zone. Number two, break a bad habit. Habits are formed when we were kids. I know myself, I started smoking, I started drinking, I started drugging, I started doing all that because I saw my ancestors doing it. And they made it seem like it was okay as a child because I didn't know any better. So I just mimicked what they've done. But now that I'm older and wiser, I know better than that. So I had to break that cycle in order for me to change. That's why I've been sober for so long, because I keep doing things different. So break that old habit. Prove to yourself that you can do it and that you are worth it. Imagine if you saw your baby self doing what is bad for you or your own child. What advice would you give them? Then love yourself enough to take your own advice. It's easy to give advice, but it's hard to take advice. Number 3, don't be afraid of change. I hear that a lot too. So many of us feel like we have to uphold to these images that people think we are, so we continue to do them to make others comfortable. For example, let's say you are known to be a party animal, a drinker that entertains everyone when you get drunk. You literally have the excuse of your friends expecting you to be that guy or girl, so you continue to destroy your liver. If all of a sudden you decide that you want to stop drinking and get healthy, the change could be quite a shock to some of your friends. The beauty here is, the ones that support a positive change that you have made are your true friends. The others never were to begin with. That's something that you really need to take to heart. Number 4, adapt one positive habit a day. This is something that we do at the hospital when we do groups with our peers. They call them goals groups, and we tell them to set a goal for that day. And don't you know that every time we do the groups, most of the people say the same thing. We ask them, what are your goals for today? To discharge and go home. So I've just started telling them that's not a goal, because that's going to happen automatically. You need to have a different goal every day. If you're saying the same thing over and over again, that means that you're stuck. And once again, what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So adapt one positive habit a day, and that's how you change your habits. I tell people how I got clean and sober. Instead of hanging around people that was actively drinking and drugging, I started hanging around people that had recovered from drinking and drugging. When I got into recovery for cursing, I hung around people that didn't curse, that truly, genuinely didn't curse. And I hung around them for a long time until I was able to go around people that still cursed. Now I don't have a problem with hanging around people that cursed, because I'm immune to it now. And no matter how angry I get, I may feel anger, but I know how to suppress my feelings and my words, because I know that a wise person chooses their words wisely. So adapt one positive habit a day. This can seem overwhelming, but I'm talking about taking the stairs instead of the elevator, or having an apple instead of a cookie. You never know who you may meet taking the stairs, and you are putting it out there that you are healthy and fit and will attract that energy. Number 5, notice where repetition comes up. Do you keep dating the same person or attracting the same situations? These patterns will continue to follow you no matter what town you move to, until you discover the lesson to be learned and make an inner change. I came across this quote by Winston Churchill, and he said it like this: to improve is to change. To be perfect is to change often. Everything around us is constantly changing, and whether we like it or not, we're going to have to change with it. Because if you don't, you'll realize that doing the same thing over and over again, it actually contributes to your anxiety, which causes you to become overwhelmed real easily. I was actually studying something else today about impatience. Impatience is just like anxiety. You know, if it's triggered by anxiety, as a matter of fact. And so you want to make sure that you're aware of the things that's going on around you. Again, that's why I was talking about mindfulness. Pay attention to the things that's going on around you, and then you'll start noticing how it's affecting you and how it's affecting the inside of you. So repetition. We need to notice what is working and what is not. and be prepared to change our approach in order to get what we want. That is the essence of flexibility. As a wise person once said, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. I'm going to say that one more time because it took me back to a guy. I got that from a guy that I used to go to meetings with, an older guy, very wise, and that's one of the things that he used to say. A wise person once said, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. That is the wonderfully true statement. In other words, if you continue to do exactly what you are doing now, then don't be surprised when you don't see any increase or change in your results. Again, what is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. That's a pretty awesome statement. And I just wanted to share that with you all because nothing changes if nothing changes. And when I mentioned earlier about calling someone else crazy, I would kind of retract on that because you might want to look at your life and see if you're doing the same thing over and over again. Because if you are, then the pot can't call the kettle black. That's why that's why I'm glad that I'm in recovery, because recovery, you have to constantly change. I don't just work on one thing. Once I got clean and sober, I had to start working on my mental health. And I continue to work on my mental health because if I stop, I'm going to start going back to those same old behaviors, and I know I will because I'm used to that, and that's easy. I get stressed out. It's easy to go take a smoke. I get ticked off at somebody. It's easy to cuss. Those are easy because I've done it all my life. But being in recovery, it gave me the opportunity to change things one thing at a time, one day at a time. Change is good. We can't stop it. But if you want to better yourself, you want to change your behavior, then you got to stop doing the same things over and over again. Because after a while, those things stop working, and that's why you need new coping skills. And maybe next week I'll talk about that, how to develop new coping skills. Because I'm not saying that we don't have them. What I'm saying is, after we get so old, the coping skills become old too, and they stop working. That's why we keep getting the same results. But when you add new coping skills to the coping skills that you already have, those are more weapons that you can add to your arsenal. So I don't have to go back and drink like I used to. Now I can do a video like this. I can talk about my problems. See, we learn to suppress our problems. We learn to suppress everything when we're kids. And as we grow, we continue to do so. And the problem is, when you suppress your feelings, they call it passive aggressive. When you suppress your feelings, you seem to speak out of turn. You seem to hurt the ones that's trying to help you versus hurting the ones that hurt you. So I pray that you get a lot out of this message. Again, if you want to subscribe to these videos every Friday, just push the subscribe button, and every time I do a meeting, you'll get this notification. And each week it's going to be something different, because everything constantly change. Even with this coronavirus, it's causing people to constantly change. And then some people are trying not to change because they don't like change. So they continue to doing the same thing. And now I was just looking at the news. That's why they're giving out tickets now, because people are not willing to cooperate with the safety of our communities, because they don't feel like the government should be controlling their life right now. They want control, and people with control issues, they do stuff like that. Once again, that's the definition of insanity. Nothing stays the same. We have to learn how to adapt to our community so that we can change our community. The community is constantly changing, but the people in the community are not, and it's making the communities worse. Instead of working as a team. We're working apart from one another. Don't hate on us that's changing. I really don't like when people tell me I'm so proud of you because of all the changes you made in your life. I feel like they're kind of mocking me a little bit sometimes, because most of the people that says things like that, I'm looking at them and they're doing the same thing that we was doing 25, 30 years ago. I want to be the one to tell you that I'm really proud of you for a change. And if you try to change and you find yourself going back to doing the same thing, don't get alarmed. That just means that that's something that you need to work on. I do want to give you some word of advice. Don't try to do it on your own. Because if you do it on your own, you're going to trip over your own 2 feet. That's why in recovery we get sponsors, we get mentors, we get people that's aware, that's working a program that can walk us through the program to help us to change so that we don't fall. And even if we do, at least we got somebody there to encourage us and pick us up. So as I close, we would like to go out just like we always do at DDA with Just for Today. Just for Today, I will focus on my DDA recovery program of the 12 Steps Plus 5. Just for today, I will remain clean and sober, and if I'm taking medications, I will do so as prescribed. Just for today, I will keep an open mind and be willing to listen to the advice of my DDA support group, my prescriber, and my clinician. Just for today, I would allow myself to have faith in someone in the DDA program who has faith in me and my recovery. Just for today, I will have a program. I recognize that I may make mistakes along the way, but I will follow the DDA program to the best of my ability. Just for today, I will utilize the DDA program of shared experiences, strength, solidarity, and hope in order to gain a better perspective on my life. Just for today, I would not dwell on the past nor place undue concern on the future. Just for today, I would not grant fear or worry space in my thoughts. By choosing to live one day at a time and by following the DDA principles, I need not be afraid. Just for today, I will see how working an honest program is helping others and allow the blessings of my higher power to flow throughout my life. Just for today, I will allow myself to be me. I will accept myself for whom I am and where I am. I will allow others the same courtesy, that they may be free to grow and that I may be free from the burden of resentment. Just for today, I will live and let live. If I become unable to do this, then I will place trust in my higher power and remind myself to just let go and let God. Just for today, I will live life on life's terms, and by doing so, I recognize when I need support for symptoms of my dual diagnosis, or when I'm in danger of relapse, I will seek help from the fellowship of DDA, my higher power, my prescriber, and my clinician. Just for today. Again, if you want to continue to get these videos, please subscribe to it, share them with your family and friends, so that they can. This group is open to the community. That's why I talk about things as reality, but I also talk about solutions and not problems. So I want to wish you all the best. Continue to protect yourself. Put your mask on. Continue to sanitize, and more so, let's continue to pray for one another as a community. Keep us in prayers as the first responders that's having to deal with our patients firsthand. I commend everyone that's going out of their way to help. So I thank you, and God bless you. And as I close, can we please close with the Lord's Prayer? Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Be blessed.